application is successfully deployed using GitLab CI. That's amazing. Hello Dosto, welcome back to TrainWithShubham channel, and you are watching GitLab course. And in today's session, we will be creating self-hosted runners. We will be also exploring what are SaaS runners or instance runners in GitLab. But before moving forward, let's see, bhaiya, what are runners? So let's get started. In the previous video, we have covered variables and secrets, artifacts as well. So make sure you have watched that. Now let's get started with runners. Now, what are runners? So think of this point that gitlab.com, okay, gitlab.com. This is the place where you have your project. You have your project set up. And in this project, you have a pipeline where you have configured everything using .gitlab ci.yaml. And this is the platform where you are running your pipeline, you're maintaining your pipeline, you're seeing the logs, everything on this gitlab.com platform. Now, if you use a lot of resources from GitLab, which are obviously free of cost, these resources are the servers where your pipeline actually runs. So I'll show you. So this is your project. Okay, great. Now see this. If you go to build, if you go to your pipelines, what did you think? Where are these jobs running? Where are these pipelines running? If you click on this pipeline and if you go to any of the job, let's say this deploy job, where was this running? Was this a machine? Was this, what was this? Was this a terminal? What was this? If you go to runner, a runner is a server where your CI jobs are picked and processed. And whatever the data, whatever the output was processed, it returns back to gitlab.com or in your instance. Now this green SaaS Linux small AMD 65 runner, 64 runner, manager GitLab, this is a server. This is an instance. How do you know that? You go to your settings, go to your CI/CD, and then you will find something known as runners. So runners are processes that pick up and execute CI/CD jobs for GitLab. Now, GitLab offers you more than 100 runners for free. Sometimes they are stale, they are not able to connect, but sometimes or most of the times they're active. And these are the servers that pick your jobs and process them. So these are your instance runners by default provided by GitLab. Now you can have your self-hosted runners as well. So for that, it is known as project runners. Now just like project runners, you have group runners as well. Let's say you have this TWS DevOps group. You go to settings, go to CI/CD, and then you go to runners and expand it. So this runner can be used for your multiple projects. So let's create a project runner for first. And this demo CI/CD, I want to run not on these, free instance runners. I don't want to run on these free instance. I want to run on my own machine, which is this machine. You see this cool machine? I want to run my pipeline jobs on this machine. And this is known as self-hosted runners. And in this tutorial, we will be looking into how to create self-hosted runners. Amazing. Let's get started. So you just have to go to your project, let's say demo CI/CD, then you have to go to settings, go to CI/CD, and then click on your runners, expand. So you have turned off the instance runners for now because you want your own project runner. Just click on new project runner, done. Now, runners generally are specified using tags. What does that mean? Okay, I'll tell you. So this is your GitLab. Okay, this is your GitLab instance, gitlab.com, whatever you call it. And let's say these are your runners. Let's say you have configured 2 runners. Okay, you have configured 2 runners. So all of the tasks related to dev or development have to be done using runner 1, and another runner 2, only production related tasks have to be done on runner 2. Now how will GitLab understand where to schedule jobs or where to send the jobs? So that is done by tags. Okay, that is done by tags. So let's set up tags. Let's call it dev. Okay, I am creating a dev runner and I'm giving a tag dev, and this configuration you can keep as it is, pause, protected. You don't want to do that, and just create a runner. That's it. Just create a runner. Now, in order to register a runner, you have to tell what kind of platform you're using for that runner. Let's say this is a Linux instance. So what I'll choose here is I'll choose Linux as a platform. You can even have Docker runners, Kubernetes runners, and Google Cloud, Mac OS, any kind of runners you can have. Now, GitLab Runner is a tool that has to be installed in your platform. So, GitLab Runner must be installed before you can register a runner. How do I install GitLab Runner? Just click on it and you will get some kind of documentation, some kind of codes and some kind of commands to do that. Now let's say you are on a different architecture. You are on a ARM processor or a M1 chip or something like that. You can select differently, but generally AMD 64 is X64, which we have created. So just copy this, okay, and go to your system and just go sudo su. What is sudo su? I want to use this particular system as a root user, just for a demo purpose, and I'll just paste it here. Now by doing this, you install each and every tool which is required for GitLab Runner. So what it will do, sudo curl, get some kind of installation files, chmod giving permissions, sudo user add, there's a user called GitLab Runner that is added, and then you install the GitLab Runner and then start it, enter. Installing running platform. Okay, seems it is started. Now if you want to see if your installation is complete, you can directly check GitLab Runner status. GitLab Runner status, you can see GitLab Runner service is running, but your GitLab Runner is running. Your gitlab.com, the project demo CICD, it is not linked with this runner. So you have to link it. How you will link it? Copy and paste the following command into your command line to register the runner. You have to register it. Just copy paste it. Just close this, copy it, and in your particular, instance, you can directly go and paste it. GitLab Runner is the tool. Register gitlab.com. Token, this is the secret token for your account. Enter. Enter the GitLab instance URL. Generally, it's a gitlab.com that you are using, so you can keep gitlab.com only. But in case you are using your self-hosted GitLab, you have to provide your instance URL. Enter. Verifying runner is valid. That's great. Enter the name of the runner. You can keep it dev runner. Okay, if you want, you can keep it blank as well. Okay, enter a source, which is enter an executor. So what is an executor? Executor is someone who can pick the job for you, the CI/CD job for you, and execute it. So I want to execute everything on my shell, so I'll just take shell and I write shell. Enter. Can you see runner registered successfully? And if you go to your GitLab, you can see this, you have successfully registered a new runner. So your project and this self-hosted runner is now attached. It is registered. Now see this, GitLab runner status. Enter. It is running. How cool is that? Now what I'll do is I'll just go and go to my, I'll just exit this, come to my pipeline vim.gitlab, and I want this pipeline to be executed on that particular runner. And that's when the tags come into the picture. So you go to your build, okay? Let's say you go to your job, okay? So let's say build job. This job you want to run on your self-hosted runner. So here you have to add tags. And the tags you can add dev. So what does this mean? This particular job will run on the executor with the label dev. Let's say I have another executor or another runner with a label production. So that time you can add that this will run on production instance. So how cool is that? Okay. So let's say test job I want to run on my runner dev only. So tags becomes dev. Okay. You can add multiple tags, you can add single tag, it's up to you. So tags, what? Dev. Okay. Deploy job, and again your tags will be becoming dev. So why am I doing this? So that my runner can pick up the labels, okay, or the tags. Dev. Okay, done. Escape colon wq, git add dot, git add, oh, not git add, git status. Okay, my CI file is modified. Git commit hyphen m added tags to the build jobs. Okay, or the only jobs should be fine, whatever it is. Okay, added tags to the jobs, and that's it. You just have to git push origin main and see the magic. Enter. Pushed to your repository. Go to your repository and you will see something. Oh, my pipeline is failed. Just click on this. Why is it failed? Let's see why it is failed. Okay, it failed. Job failed. Prepare environment. Okay, the environment is not getting prepared. In case you are getting some kind of prepare environment failed or something like that, first what you can do is you can go and validate your GitLab CI file. How to validate that? You can go to edit and open in pipeline editor. So first thing to make sure is your pipeline syntax is correct. Okay, it is correct. Then there is also one thing that you need to make sure, that in your Linux instance there is a particular file which is known as bash logout. Now what does bash logout do? Bash logout generally logs out your runner, okay, and that file needs to be commented out. For example, you can directly go to your cd home, or you can use sudo su, which is your super user, and then go to cd home, then gitlab runner. Okay, and inside this you will find it empty, but if you do ls-a, which is hidden files, you will find bash logout, and this is the file which causes a lot of trouble. If you go to vim.bash logout, and you can see this, the bash logout executed by bash 1 when login shell exits. So let's say your runner started the build job, it logged in and it exited. So this will execute and your job will fail. I don't want that. Okay. So I'll just comment this out. I'll just comment this out. Okay. Commented, and that's it. After doing that, all you have to do is uh, GitLab runner status. Just see the service is running. Now you can go to your pipeline, and you can retry all the failed jobs. Can you see it's now pending? It's now running. Click on the pipeline. Okay, click on the pipeline. Can you see it succeeded? This test job also succeeded. This is paused. If you refresh again, it will be, succeeded. And guess what? Where are these jobs running? Because the instance runners or the SaaS runners, we turned it off, right? We completely turned it off. But where are these running? Click on it and you will see that the runner is 4026 NUZ. This is the runner ID. If you go here, settings, CICD, this is your project runner which you self-hosted 40 dev. So how cool it was to create your own runner and to build pipelines on that. So let's do one more thing. Let's build a real life pipeline, an amazing full end-to-end pipeline using this project runner. How will we do that? So let's create a new project. Okay, let's go and create a new project. Let's get a new project. Okay, I want to import the project. Okay, so on my GitHub there is a project of a note taking application. It's a Django project where you can take notes. Okay, and this project I want to import and I want to build an end-to-end pipeline for this particular project using GitLab. So this is my code. I'll go to HTTPS and I'll just import the project. Okay, I'll just click here and that's it. It's private. I can keep it private only because the group is private. Create project. It'll take some time. Okay, import is in progress. It'll take some time because it's a big project, but I think 1 minute or so it's done. Okay, so a Django Notes app is here. Now what it doesn't have is a pipeline, a .gitlab ci.yaml file. Now either what we can do is we can clone the project here. Okay, we can clone the project here and we can add it, or I can tell you a new way of doing that. Go to your project and just click on plus and new file. Okay, new file. Just write the file as .gitlab -ci.yml. Okay, now you can apply a template. Let's say production app, Android, XYZ, but I don't want to apply a template. I want to create my own pipeline because I learned it the easy way. Okay, so stages I can zoom if you want. So this is the entire pipeline that we are imagining. I want the pipeline to build my project. I want my pipeline to test my project. I want my pipeline to push the image to Docker Hub. Okay, Docker Hub is a platform where you can push the image, and then I want to deploy the project. Easy peasy. So how does my project look like? It will go on GitLab. Okay, everything will be done on GitLab. Then Docker will help to build the project. Docker Hub, okay, Docker Hub will have the repository, and then this project will be pushed to my EC2 instance or my GitLab runner. Okay, so deployed. So it's very easy project. Code, okay, code, build and test, then comes push, and then it will be deployed on my runner. So these are the stages that I want to achieve. Let's get to it. Build, test, push to Docker Hub and deploy. We can have build and test in a single stage, build and test in a single stage. If you want multiple stage, you can do that as well. Now, what I want to do next? I want to do next is I want to have my build job. Okay, what my build job does? My build job will have the stage what? Build. My scripts would be, I will be having Docker build my project using a tag notes app, and this will be latest. Okay, done. And that's it. That's all I want to do. After this, I want this particular job to be running on an environment or on a particular runner called dev. So tags dev. Okay, I want it to be running on dev. Now I want artifacts as well. Let's say artifacts, I want the path as, let's say, builds, something like this. Paths, I want builds. Okay, I want artifacts as well, and I want the artifacts to expire in 1 day. Let's say I want to expire in 1 day. That's it. My build job is created. So what my build job does, it builds on Docker and then build and test basically. So I need to write the name here correctly. So build and test. Okay, the name here, stages and stage, should match. Now the next job I want to do is, I'll just copy this, and I wish to do is push job. Okay, push job. So push to Docker Hub is my next job. So Docker build will build the image, and Docker push will push the image. So I want Docker push. But Docker push doesn't work that way. You have to first do Docker login. You have to first do Docker login. And in Docker login, you have to use your username and your password. Now, if you expose your password here, everything is gone. So you have to use some secret variables. We will configure that. And then we will be using Docker image tag to tag my old image to a new image. And then we will push that image. That's it. That's all I need to worry about. Okay. Next job that I need to do is deploy job. Okay, deploy job, where the stage is what? Deploy, and the scripts, it's script only, not scripts. Okay, I hope I wrote script. Okay, the script. Now what I need to do in deploy job, it's very easy. I need to just do Docker compose up. Because this project is done using Docker compose, I saw that there's a docker compose.yaml file here, and this will build my project and deploy it. Great, done. That's it. My pipeline is done. But let's see if this pipeline works. For example, let's see what all challenges it will face. Let's say it does not have the username, password, secret variables. It does not have the project runner assigned to it. A lot of problems. Let's solve every problem one by one. Let's commit here. Okay, committed. Great, great. So as soon as I committed the GitLab CI file, I'll get access to the pipelines for this particular project. And you'll see the pipeline is stuck. Why it is stuck? Because it is looking for tags dev. The build job is designed to run on the tags dev. And if you go to your settings, if you go to CICD, and if you go to runners, you have a dev runner here, but it is not enabled for this project. Just enable for this project, and that's it. Your pipeline will now start picking up jobs for this particular runner. Now go to your CI file and let's make sure that the tags dev is used in every stage. You can see the deploy job does not have the tag. Now I'll show you one more cool thing. Go to Open Web IDE and you will find an editor on your browser. So GitLab also gives you an Open Web IDE. It looks something like this. Looks cool, right? And that's it. This is your pipeline. Okay, can you see how cool your pipeline looks like? Now you can directly edit here. Okay, so no need to go back to your server, push again and so on. You can directly edit here. This needs tags dev. So you have artifacts in push job. You have artifacts here. Let's keep it here as well if you want. Let's have artifact for this job as well. And that's it. I can go to this is my explorer, this is my search. If I want to search file, this is my source control. This is my debugger and this is my extension. This is like a VS code inbuilt. So go to source code and add it, tags and fixes to pipeline. And that's it. Just commit to the main branch, continue, and as soon as you commit you can go to your project. Okay, once you go to your project, then you will go and see your build pipelines. Okay, you can go and see your build pipelines. Can you see the pipeline is now running? And this is how you solve the pipeline stuck problem. Let's click on this. Oh, it failed. So sorry. Let's see why it failed. So go to the build job and just debug why it failed. So it says Docker command not found, which means the runner, this particular machine, does not have Docker installed. So let's install Docker. Sudo apt get update. Let's update our system for the latest stuff. Okay. And the next command that we will be putting is sudo apt get install docker.io. And that way Docker will be installed in this particular runner. So sudo apt get install docker.io. Okay, and that's it you have to do to install Docker. Now let's see if you will get more errors, more issues. Let's see. Okay, great. So Docker is getting installed and we will see if Docker is working or not. Okay, so system CTL status for my Docker. Oh, Docker is now running. That's great. Now this issue should be resolved. Let's go back to our pipelines and let's rebuild it. If I just refresh it, so my pipeline is failed again just now. Why? Let's see why it is failed. I have installed Docker, still it failed. Let's see why. Let's scroll down and see the logs. So it says, okay, builds, cleaning up. Docker build requires exactly one argument. So maybe we have put the Docker build command wrong. So Docker build -t notes app, we have not put dot. What is this dot? This dot will help to basically use this particular Docker file, and it will build an image from that file. Okay. If you want Docker tutorials, do let me know in the comment. Okay, and that being said, minor fix to CI, or in industry standard, what you do, you just write CI in the beginning, then colon, minor fix. That's it. Commit to main branch. Okay. Once you commit, you can go to your project and you can see the pipeline will automatically restart. Why? It is a CI stuff. Okay. Now we have another error. Let's try to fix that error. So what is the error? Let's see. Okay, so it says permission denied while trying to connect to Docker daemon. So what is my user? My user is GitLab runner. So the GitLab runner user, this particular runner user, does not have access to Docker. So what I'll do is, I'll give access. How will I give access? So the command is sudo user mod. I want to modify my user and append it to the group Docker. I will modify my user and append it to the group Docker. For which user? The GitLab runner guy. This is the user which runs every task. This user was trying to build Docker and it was not able to build it. So I'll just give it permissions, and after giving it permissions, I'll just sudo systemctl restart Docker. I'll just restart my Docker service so that the GitLab runner gets the particular required permissions. So I'll just go and see cat/etc/group. This is the command to see if your group, let's say Docker group, has that particular GitLab runner user added or not. And then you can see it is added. So the permission denied error will now go. I'll go to my jobs or I go to my pipelines and I'll restart my pipeline. Just restart all the failed or cancelled jobs. Okay. And let's see if it is running now. Okay, let's see. Oh, it's running. So which means you have successfully fixed the permission issue. And if you click on the build job, you will see beautifully your Docker image is getting created from your build command, which is awesome. Okay, let's just wait for the pipeline to do its thing. Let's see the pipeline, how beautifully it looks. But there's one problem. The push job has Docker login, and Docker login requires a username and a password, which we don't have. So let's go and check our Docker Hub. So dockerhub.com is that particular website where you can check your Docker images, your repositories. So I'll just sign in on my Docker Hub account. I have already logged in. Now what you have to do, you have to go to your account, which is this particular thing. You go to account settings. I'll zoom in. Okay. And after going to your account settings, you'll get this kind of form. You have to go to personal access tokens. Just click on this and just generate new token. What you have to do is read, write, delete and generate. But you have to put a token description also. So GitLab for TWS, you can give some kind of description and generate. That's it. Your token has been generated. Using this token, you will be logging in to your Docker Hub. So you can see the push to Docker, it would be failed. I'm pretty sure it will be failed. Why? The Docker login did not receive, okay, cannot performing an interactive login. It did not receive the username and password. So let's add some secrets. So go to settings, go to CICD. Now I want to add some variables to it. Okay. See, variables are empty. Add variable. I want it to be masked. So this is my Docker Hub username. Okay. Key, I want to keep Docker Hub user. Okay. User. Value is TrainWithShubham. This is my Docker Hub username. You have to put yours. It's understood. Okay. So Docker Hub user has been added. It's masked. So I want to mask my password as well. So I want to protect my variable as well. Description. This is Docker Hub password or my personal access token. Personal access token. Key, I want to give it Docker Hub pass or Docker Hub personal access token, PAT. Okay. The value I can copy from here and I can paste it here. Done. And I can add a variable. Done. My Docker Hub user and Docker Hub password is added. So I'll just close it. What is PAT? It is personal access token. So I'll just copy this. I'll go to my IDE and wherever I did my login, I'll just use $Docker Hub user. And whatever personal access token or password I had, I'll use in the -p, personal access token. Now Docker image tag. This is my old image. I want it to be tagged in such a way that my username comes first, then my name of the image comes, and this username and the name of the image gets pushed. This is what I want. Okay. Done. Done. Let's go and commit. Added, or again, CI, added secrets. Okay. Added secrets. Commit to the main branch. Done. And you can see, if you go to the project, you will see your pipeline will start again. You can see it started. Let's see now. The build is done because it uses the cache. Let's see if our push job is running or not. You can see no files to upload. Okay, job succeeded because in your Artifactory there was nothing to upload. So that's why it gave something like this. Login was also succeeded. And you can see Docker Hub user, Docker Hub password, anything is not visible to my end user. It's all masked. It's all secured. Amazing. So if you go to your pipelines and see if my pipeline is built, oh, my pipeline failed. Why it failed? Let's see. Let's go to your deploy job and see why it particularly failed. It says Docker compose not found. Let's go and let's install sudo apt get install Docker compose v2. So a new version of Docker compose is now available. You can install that. Okay, it's installed. And because of this new version of Docker compose, you have to change your commands a bit. So instead of Docker -compose up, it becomes just Docker compose up. -d means detached mode or in the background. And this way you can run your script. But one thing is missing. Your Docker Hub user notes app should be there in your Docker compose file as well. So this is my Docker Hub user notes app. Instead of Jenkins, I want just this. So notes app latest, just cross verify if this is the one. Yes, it's the one. So these are the changes. I'll add it. Docker compose changes. Okay, that's it. And this is the last commit that we will be doing, hopefully. And let's see if my pipeline is running. Okay, time for the big pipeline. Okay, let's see. Oh, the stage is paused. Let's see what is happening in that stage. Build and test is done. Push to Docker Hub is done. Now the deployment is happening, which means your application is now deployed and it's running. Let's go and check it. But before, this application is running on port number 8000. Your instance or your system needs to be, opened for the internet to be accessible for port number 8000. So I'll just go and add a rule. I'll call it 8000. I'll give anywhere and call it Django Notes app. This is just a description which is optional. I'll save the rules and that's it. If I go to my EC2 instance and if I go to my GitLab server, my public IP, and you can see this. Oh, I did not put my port number. Let's take it again. And if I go to my port number 8000, my application is successfully deployed using GitLab CI. That's amazing. So I hope in this tutorial you understood how to create your own self-hosted runners and to deploy your application via GitLab. So I hope you enjoyed this series. I hope you liked this particular tutorial. And if you enjoyed the series on GitLab, do let me know in the comments so that I'll bring more videos on GitLab. This was the last video for the 3-day video series. I hope you enjoyed it. This was the first time I was trying in English. Do let me know your feedback on that so that I can improve as a trainer, as an educator. So thank you so much for watching till here. Do like the video. The aim is 500 likes and do comment whatever you want to see next. And I will see you all in the next video.